thing go. Share screen number 2. That's that one. And put that there. Right. So let's just play this. And
I was wondering, could you think of me? This is how Nancy and I wrote a song completely over Zoom. We started with a lot of Zoom calls, and together we worked on ideas and developed our song. This took a little while. Separately we would go away and practice or think of some more that we could add to our song, and then we would come back together each week and share what we'd done. Once we were happy with what we would come up with, it was time to record, and we did this using BandLab and Zoom. We would go on a call, and together we would be able to direct each other and talk through what it was we were doing. It took a few tries until we were happy with it. Nancy played bass and I played guitar. We both sang, and we laughed a lot. We enjoyed the process. This is something that we ended up leaving in the recording because we loved the sound of us having so much fun making the song together. Once we had recorded everything we needed, using BandLab I was able to rearrange and compile everything together to be exactly how we wanted it. Nancy then wrote down some titles for us to use as the cover image of our song. We had a great time and worked so well together. It was great doing this online as we were able to work completely remotely, so it's possible to collaborate and write a song without even leaving home.
great. So, I guess we don't need to share screen at the moment. Why do we do that? Stop share. Okay, so back. So that was what we did was we said let's do an Instagram style clip. So, and I think it was just over a minute, but it's the right kind of thing, isn't it? So, so I guess first of all, how did you go about planning that little teach back thing?
First I wrote down like a little script for myself, and then from when we did it, I had that little clip of video, and then I had pictures of um, the some of the songwriting and just some bits and pieces that I had around, and then a screenshot of one of our sessions on BandLab. So then with the script done, I put all of the video and image together, and then in the background I put the finished song, so that would be going uh, quietly throughout to make it a bit more interesting, I suppose. And then I uh, took a few tries to read through my script as the video was playing forward to make sure I kind of got things in a good position, like talking about. So when I was talking about BandLab, that picture was up and stuff like that, and took a few tries until it was done.
So you did it all in one take, the vocal in the end, the voiceover bit.
Yeah. Uh, it took a few tries. I think um, I've got. I just did that on the sound recorder on my computer. I thought that was just the easiest way to go about that because you could record. I used the uh, video software that just came with my laptop.
Is that
So
iMovie? Did you? I think you mentioned it.
uh, no, sorry, it's a new laptop. It's just I think it's just called Video Maker. It's just the built-in,
Okay.
yeah,
It's
video editor app.
right. It's a PC, is it that you're on?
Yeah.
Right. Fine. So actually, what you did was you cut the video together first, and then I mean you did the script, and then you thought what pictures are going to go with it. Then you cut the video pictures together to make a video, and then you practiced the voiceover and did it. So
Is it on the on the editing app you can record sorry, you can record a custom audio. You can record a custom audio. So I was doing that as I was looking at my script in the corner and the video was playing in the background. So
yeah, no, right. Well, I think it's well done. So
thank you.
um, I mean, I mean it's a short thing, isn't it? I mean, I guess what you're kind of doing is you're storyboarding. It's normally you call it storyboarding when you're planning a video, and you've got sometimes you'll sketch out ideas about particular shots, frame them up, and what you're going to do. But I mean, you clearly had a conceptual idea before. Well, you clearly had a conceptual idea of what bits of pictures you need to use. So you're sort of storyboarding in your head without a formal kind of layout of a storyboard, aren't you? You know.
Yeah.
Great. What's the cat's name, by the way?
Oh, my cat's name is also Nancy, who is the girl I wrote the song with as well. So I'm not insane. There are two Nancys involved in all of this. The
Well,
human Nancy and the cat Nancy.
well, it's funny because our black cat's called Winnie, which is it's a girl's name, right? So it's yeah, she looks really, really similar to her. Behaves similar as well. Um, okay, so we watched it back. That's the planning. So how effective do you think is at communicating what you were doing in terms of passing on a skill to someone else?
I think it more kind of describes the process and like shows that it's possible to do something, maybe, because I wasn't exactly sure how I could explain in particular, because a lot of it was we just kept trying at it. So with the band lab, it was we just press record and let it go and keep recording the parts of the song we needed. So yeah, I think we just described it's just describing we did and showing it's possible, because in the end we did have a song, so it did work.
Yeah. So and obviously in the remit of a 1 minute ish clip, it's
Mm.
pretty hard to get lots of detail right, which is one of the reasons I sort of set it like that. It's actually harder to condense information into a short space of time. Like it's always harder to write a short, detailed essay than it is to just ramble on. You know, it's like,
Mm.
and I think yeah, it covers the concept. It's like, oh wow, you can do that then. Okay, oh, and BandLab's important in this. All right, so um, like you said, you're laying out the pathway and then saying it's possible because you've got a result from it, which is partly under the video, isn't it? So, and then I think we'll look again at that track in a minute. So, um, so any ideas about, you know, if you were to do that in more detail or do that again, any thoughts about what you could improve in terms of communicating how to?
Mm. I'm not sure, because when it comes to songwriting, I think everyone's process is different. So for us, it was we'll have a Zoom call and we talk about it, and then we go away and come up with our ideas, which was the notebook pictures. Just we just go away and think about it, and that some people write songs differently. But I think if you were wanting to collaborate with people to do it over the internet can work. If you're determined to write a song, if that's what you want to do, I think you can do that whether you're in a space together or whether you're on your own or in the same place or together via the internet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking more of the technical side, but obviously what you're dealing with is songwriting as well. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's like, well, it's a complex thing to
um,
songwriting is a complex thing anyway, isn't it? So
Technically, I could go into more detail about the actual process of recording. So how we recorded on BandLab, we plugging our microphones in, recording it, and then the actual piecing everything together. But that would take longer as well to
yeah, of
explain.
course. Yeah. Okay. That's great, Ruby. So I think let me just flick back onto this. So that's the part D bit covered. We're going to go back to the start at the part A now. Where is it? First bit. Here we go. So this is reviewing the whole Be Seen and Heard project. And I guess what we should do here is if I just play a little snippet of that track, Nancy and Ruby, Could You Think of Me? Let's just play a little bit of that one and then a little bit of the other one that you did.
I was wondering, could you think of me? Sits at the foot of the stairs, telling herself it'll be fine. Doesn't know how she feels, I guess how it feels. I know the more you see. I'll talk to those that love me. Could you think of me? Could you think of me? Could you think of me? Standing in front of the mirror, beside her stands the fear. She sees but can pretend it isn't there.
Okay, so that's just some of that one again. And this is one you did on your own, yeah? Was this on your own completely? The live through?
Live through a screen, yeah, I did that one myself.
Okay, let's look.
Sometimes it seems I'm watching life through a screen. I wish I could go back to before. I used to care about so many things, but now I don't care anymore. And sometimes I notice that you're watching me. Are you wishing for how life was before? Back when we had the time for so many things, we don't have time anymore. And I know that this has been harder on you, and sometimes I don't understand. My darling, I'm feeling small. Won't you take my hand and we'll try to live? But now I'm a grown up, now I should be flying. Instead I am lying on the floor. I have broken wings, so I cannot fly. Just lean on your shoulder, won't you let me cry? Are you proud to say my name? Are you proud to say my name? And I want you happy, that's all that I need. You want my future, that's not guaranteed. We're wasting our lives waiting for one good day. And if this is it, there's tomorrow to pay. I'll make you proud to say my name. I have broken wings, so I cannot fly. Just lean on your shoulder, won't you let me cry? Are you proud to say my name? Are you proud to say my name? And I'm sorry for hurting you if I've caused you pain. Our lives, they have changed and they won't be the same. I'll make you proud to say my name. I have broken wings, so I cannot fly. Just lean on your shoulder, won't you let me cry? Are you proud to say my name?
Yeah, I couldn't stop that in mid-flow, really, could I? It's too touching, too personal. So, I'm guessing that's about you and your situation. That seems like a deeply personal kind of song about,
Yeah, a little bit.
and the impact on those around you, which is, I mean, that's quite profound to listen to that perspective. Um, that's you and acoustic guitar, right?
Yeah.
Did you do the both together, or did you track one?
No, that was just I played and sang at the same time. I try sometimes to do, but because I did a kind of a lot of a finger picking style of the guitar, it was just easier to just kind of set up the levels a bit so that you could pick up and hear the guitar, and then I just
Hmm.
went for it. I just sang it. It was pretty much live, that one.
Well, with lots and lots of recording experience, that's the best way. I mean, whenever you've got someone doing what you're doing there, separating you from the guitar is just a daft idea, really. You're locked together, it's just what are
Yeah,
you
I've
gonna,
always
what are you
found
gonna
it
do?
more comfortable to just do it.
Yeah, no, and it's quite an unusual structure as well, where you do that. You do the hand tapping on it, and then it's like, well, what are we going now? And then it goes back. It's like it's an interesting little journey arrangement wise.
With Fred, we made a music video for that one.
Oh, okay, I wasn't aware of that. So
Um, using I had well, I got lots of kind of old footage from when I was a kid,
yeah,
with my sister, and just playing and running around. And it was a kind of, because it started off with, well, the line "live through a screen," because that could relate to the whole lockdown stuff, but it was more thinking of, I'm looking back at kind of like images and ideas. So it's a video with lots of um film that we've got from when I was younger, and then the final one's literally we stop it, the song stops, and it's a clip from when I was really young, and someone in my family just asking, "Oh, it's Ruby, do you know any songs?" And I'm like, "No." As a 2-year-old or something. So
wow. Yeah, so you're juxtaposing like a screen memory, like a playing videos in your head, like playing your life in your head, with that idea of interfacing through the world, which is locked down, and partly what your circumstance kind of brings about as well. Yeah, it's quite profound. I didn't realize you. I mean, I knew that there were some videos. I didn't know that was one of them. So, did you get to any of the sessions physically then, or was everything?
no, everything I did was from my room. Yeah, I it just, as well, because this was February, I think this was going on, and so COVID still was very much a risk and a worry.
Mm,
Um, but physically, for me, a lot of the time, it's more than a case of, is a place accessible for me? Because I have to. Um, it's almost like I've got blocks of energy,
yeah.
so I've got to pace myself, and so it's just a lot easier personally
Mm,
for me to be home where I'm comfortable, where
yeah.
nothing, and where it's like I'm in control of my situation. Whereas as soon as I'm out of this, it's not okay. It's like I can get into a room, but it's like, is this safe for me? Is this, it's more productive that I'm here, because then I with all of the online stuff, I know I can communicate with everyone,
Mm,
and there's none of that barrier that I personally find um
yeah.
externally, I suppose.
Yeah, so you get it, yeah. So you might be able to get into a place, but then not actually contribute, and because your energy levels are just sapping because you're so busy monitoring for safety and your own personal circumstances. So yeah, yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, I know that's what the project was aimed at. It's just
I think
like wow.
it can seem like a barrier, it really can, and if I think you've really got to, but it's like, it can be a barrier, but you can make it so it's not.
Hmm.
So a lot of the time, you've got to kind of be proactive in communicating with people, and I understand that can be difficult for some people, and for me personally, like it used to be, like how I used to be, it's a lot easier sometimes to get things done when you're physically in a place with people, or physically at a recording studio or something.
Yeah.
But for me, I find that stuff is a bit of a barrier, because uh, when I'm at my computer and when I'm on, like, say, a Zoom call, there's no difference, and it would be nice if like in the world any difference, and it's like with you lot from Be Seen and Heard, the different any difference you have wouldn't matter because everyone's like a cool person, everyone's nice and easy to get on with, and everyone's musical. But in a normal situation, it's like you've got to get over the barrier, because I use a wheelchair, and then I have a hearing aid as well, so sometimes my voice will be a bit odd, or sometimes I'm struggling with all of this external stuff going on around me, so I can't focus in on what I'm actually doing.
Mm.
So for me personally, it's nothing's lost through online, because people just see me straight as the person, and the only thing that makes it difficult is if you've got a broken computer, a broken Wi-Fi connection, which we have experienced. So there
Yeah.
are challenges in everything.
Yeah, haven't we had that? I mean, yeah, technology is a facilitator, and it can get in the way, but like you're saying, it factors out a lot of the stuff that holds you back,
Mm.
which is really interesting to hear about. Especially since the project was designed to do exactly that. So what do you think went well about this project from your perspective, then, in terms of making music together?
I think I really enjoyed collaborating with Nancy, because that was something different to what I've done. Because again, I do work quite isolated. Like with my song, it was just me and my guitar, and then uh, kind of getting on with it. But I do like working with other people and talking, and I have fun with that. And Nancy and I, the human, also the cat sitting over there, but we had a really good time coming up with this song and working together on it. So again, different kind of genre of music that she was interested in as well, which, because I'm interested in anything really. I don't have any specific style. I just do lots of different things, because the song I did last year again was something really different. So
Yeah.
it's good
So
to collaborate.
so yeah, the human separated by screen interaction went well, and
Yeah,
that's
creatively, I think that really is interesting, and I really like it.
yeah. Um, is there anything this project's made you want to do more of? Is it led you down any other creative avenues?
Um, just more kind of more music, more writing, more music making, more confidence to keep on with, and almost be championing like the online and aspect of doing things digitally, because I
Mm,
think people feel a lot can be lost, and that's true, but also a lot can be gained through it, and you can do a lot of stuff.
sure. Sorry.
It's okay. No problem.
Uh, um, it's all right. So do you do any YouTube kind of live broadcasting or anything like that?
I do have a YouTube that I've put my the music videos we made onto. That's just Ruby. I think that's just Ruby Boyd or Ruboid or something.
So it strikes me that and there must be organisations that uh, do this, kind of act as a focal point for people who want to interact creatively, whether there's a disability involved or not. It actually doesn't matter. It's like, well, I'm in Los Angeles, I can't get there, right? So
Yeah.
um, that's a really interesting thing. We should. I don't know what Will knows about that. We should find out about groups, and if not, then think
Because
about
even
starting to set one up.
I've got a friend in France, and he obviously he lives in France. We can't get together very often,
Mm.
and obviously we haven't seen each other in years because of COVID lockdowns and just situations. Um, but like we've already said, we'd like to make something over BandLab together when both of us get a chance to. Um, it's a great way of connecting. Um,
I wonder if
because
BandLab is. I wonder if there's a. I mean, there must be BandLab communities within the whole thing. That's.
I really rate BandLab. I didn't know about it until this project, and I've never done any kind of mixing stuff or anything like that, or things like that. And I just found it really simple to use to start with, and then it gets, you can make it as complicated as you like. So I really enjoyed it, because with Nancy's, a lot of it was we learning as we went and trying to figure stuff out, which sometimes was stressful, but I guess it is for anybody, because I was like, it's like at the time, sometimes I was like, what am I doing? Oh, I hate this. But then it's like, as soon as I figured it out, like a couple of days later, I'm like, this is great. I love it. I fixed it. It's fine.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
it's really good.
the challenges that we get, but they're just online. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you find anything, you should let us know. If you
Oh
find
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
particular, it just strikes me that people would be really interested in your journey on it, uh, because it's more than being just separated by distance. You know, I think that's I think people would be interested in that in a kind of social media sense, like, in terms of
Yeah.
gathering a community together and being a focal point or a leader in that group. I don't know. It just,
'Cause it doesn't just come to disability either. There are loads of reasons why a person
yeah,
wouldn't be, because it's like we have the technology now to be able to make things, and it's obviously, if you, some things you want to be out there, you want to be doing things, but we have just on our phones, we've got better cameras than like our parents and our grandparents had. We can just to make, like, I don't know, a silly sketch on TikTok. We can make things so quickly, so easily. I can film for hours on this and it doesn't run out of memory, and
mm,
edit it online. And there are limits, of course there are, but there are limits to, in reality, not that this isn't reality, but there are limits outside of this. There are limits to how long people have, and how much, I don't know. Also, it's good that you can just switch it off when it's done. You don't.
yeah. Well, that's true of all music, right? You
Yeah.
need time to space and to think about it. When we used to have to mix through the night, several nights in a row without any sleep, you believe me, you can mix a lot better when you've had some sleep.
Oh no, no, no! You do have this thing though, where you'll be writing something. Like, I swear, I've written lyrics before, and I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever written. I wake up the next morning and I've just like, what is this? This is so bad. And
Yeah,
I've done things like rhyme words with the same words, or write something that makes no sense.
yeah. Yeah, and you do get the other time sometimes, and you come back to you and go, "Oh wow, I didn't think there was much to that." But listen to that. So, I think have a look and see if anyone's done any live YouTube or Periscope or whatever broadcasts or whatever. Whatever. It's not just YouTube, is it? There's lots of different platforms out
I think
there.
there's one called Twitch, which I don't have, but
No,
that's a popular one.
there's loads. There's loads. I'm just saying, have a look around and see if anyone is
Okay.
broadcasting themselves live on this collaborating via Bandcamp or any other medium. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'd be really interested to see what you find. I think it's a massive important resource that I think we could help scale up a bit and encourage. So that's great. So let's think about the uh, think about you as an audience member now, right?
Yeah.
And obviously limitations on getting to gigs is a factor. That's been a common factor for a lot of people over the
Yeah.
COVID thing. But so we talked about picking some live event or events, and I think you were talking about open mics.
Yeah.
And you were talking about physical open mics that you'd attended
Yeah.
before, yeah?
Before, like a while ago,
Yeah. And
literally a while ago. The pub that did them is like closed now. New management. It's not the same.
which pub was that then?
It was the Bridges in Wales.
Oh right, okay. I didn't. Yeah, all right. So, um,
And
what?
I'm talking about years and years and years ago, before I was, a lot of kind of the live experiences before I became disabled. So that's, God, 10 years ago, 9 years ago.
Okay. Um, Okay, so it's just flagged up and said it's going to close it down in 10 minutes. We'll do the last part on a separate one. I'll re-invite you in again. All right.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
But
Sorry.
no, it's not your fault. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Um, so, well, tell me about taking part in those. I mean, so let's think about you watching rather than taking part because this is
Yeah.
about as an audience member. Yeah.
Well,
Go on.
uh, well, I think the first open mics I've been going to them all my life. When I was younger, my parents are quite musical, so we go. But the first one I really vividly remember that made me be like, oh, I want to do that was open mics at the Bridges when I was maybe 13 years old. And the like at the time as well, I was such a kid. So I just was like, wow, I really like this. This is really good. But playing there were some really, really cool people. So there was um, Miles Hunt from the Wonder Stuff and Erica Knuckles from, I think she plays violin for them as well. And then Joseph Cave, he's got some really cool psychedelic records that he's put out and stuff, and just really uh they really influenced me musically. Like watching all of this stuff live uh made me want to do it. And not long after, I did play guitar, but not long after I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. And a couple of months into actually having my own guitar, I was like writing songs which were, two chords things, not good. But I was very encouraged by everyone there as well to keep trying and keep doing what I was doing, because obviously at the time I was 13 years old, the guitar was as big as me and I wasn't very good, but they were really nice and they were really encouraging and they play amazingly, like really, really good stuff. Um, so that was like the turning point for me musically, because I was very uh a bit of a music snob as well, though, because I was like, oh, I don't listen to pop music, but even through them as well, like I developed like this appreciation for everything, so all kinds of music, because now I try not to judge things by
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. By the books by the cover.
Yeah, I'm just keen to hear anything, play anything,
So
find
so
anything.
so watching all these people and interacting with them actually, which is not just this is an interactive audience member, isn't it? It's a whole different
Mm,
thing. Um, broadened your horizons, encouraged you. You learnt stuff from how they were playing, what they were playing. I mean, yeah, that's quite a profound feedback loop in terms of it's like an event that goes on almost
yeah.
you're watching and being part of. And when we thought when thinking about this taking part as an audience member, it's like, yeah, I didn't really think about that whole idea of that as a series of events that form one kind of meta event that's sort of really profound in steering your course.
Think I'm able to look back at it like that. I think though, because I was a kid then, so I can look back and think, oh, when I was younger. But then, because of my own circumstances, I've done a lot of like looking back and thinking about stuff, because uh, when I was 15 or 16, I had an accident and became disabled. So it was kind of like this was another point in my life where a lot of things changed. So I looked back and I looked forward, and I still do. I still think back, and I think it's almost like these moments to moments in time that like kind of changed things for me. So there's like the not so nice ones, like when I had my accident. Sorry, when I had my accident. But then there's things like those open mics that really shaped things for me, like when I got my first guitar, when I wrote my first song, and I did things like I played my songs at school when I was a kid, and I was bullied in school,
because I was, probably really annoying. I was weird, but um, and that changed things for me because people were like, "Oh, she's." I think as well because when by the time you're in year 11, things change a little bit and you're a bit more grown up.
Yeah.
But it changed things, so it made the last year of school different because people were like, "Oh, she's the music person, not just the kind of
Yeah.
weird one."
So it gave you respect. It enabled them to see you in a different light and have a completely different outcome to it, didn't it? So, um, yeah. So, what about thoughts about picking that up and going forwards in terms of attending stuff or attending stuff online? What about the future?
I'm not sure. I can look back, no problem. Looking forward.
Well, there's a
Uh,
thought, right? There's a thought in terms of because obviously you gained an awful lot from it, and I mean, yeah, obviously attending a gig live and watching, from a stream I mean, there's something maybe useful to be had from that, but it's not as profound as interacting like that, is it? And also the
no.
physicality of being there. So it's an interesting thought. So okay, so what I'll do is I'll just stop this.
Okay.
And I'll re-invite you back in, and we'll do
Yes,
the
I
last
think
little
it will
part.
be the same numbers, won't it? The same meeting.
Probably, yeah. So, but I'll ping you the same thing again, whatever. So it's
I'll
there.
I'll try and type it in. So see you in a second.
All right, see ya.